Well, hey, good evening, everyone. We're here in our 8 o'clock session for our 10th station. We're almost done these stations. And it's interesting, I was talking to someone like, why are we continuing on as we're already past Easter? And I think there's a value in making sure that we finish off these stations. And sometimes just kind of earmarking or underscoring one of those stations and revisiting part of the journey to the cross helps us understand even more about the Passion. So tonight it's our 10th, and it's Jesus is crucified. And we go back to Matthew 27, and we have 33 to 36. Let me read it. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull, they offered him wine to drink and mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves by casting lots. Then they sat down there and kept watch over him. Gary Jansen continues to, in his book Station, help us understand that Jesus' response is that he feels pain. How often do we turn to an aspirin or some bourbon or some chocolate when we have pain or anxiety? Fortunately, those of us in the Western world do not have to suffer crucifixion. People in some parts of the world have become reacquainted with it. But everyone has to face daily problems and burdens. Maybe at the end of a long day, we like to throw back a couple of drinks and kind of vegetate in front of the television, or down a couple of cupcakes just as a way of decompressing or releasing tension. These examples seem trite in contrast to the scene we witness in this station. Yet, essentially, in taking these little actions, we are trying to assuage the pain or fill a void. We stress eat, we stress drink, or stress smoke. These things are supposed to take the edge off, and they do temporarily, but once the effects of whatever it is that we've taken inside of us wears off, we are still left with our problems, our depression, our sadness, and our pain. There are theological reasons why Jesus refuses to drink wine here. But if we look at this objectively, we see that Jesus doesn't want to numb the pain. He fully embraces the situation that he's in. He didn't try to run away earlier, and he won't run away now by taking a drink mixed with myrrh, which has a narcotic quality to dull pain. Some may call this masochistic, but maybe that's just because we've become a society that likes to solve problems instantly instead of allowing ourselves to feel fully our discomfort. Look, I'm not saying you can't just veg out every once in a while in front of the television, but there are times in our lives when we are numbing a pain that we actually need to feel to help us grow in character. Those experiences of discomfort or emptiness and desolation can sometimes be the place where God is most present. I mentioned about a guy that used to go to our church back in the day. His name was Billy. And I mentioned that before he passed away, we were doing sobriety with him. I had gone to the AA meeting with him, and he started to get sober. And as he became sober, he started to feel more and more stuff. He felt more depressed. He felt more anxious. He felt more joy, more happiness, more contentment, more anger, more frustration. He started to feel stuff that he hadn't felt on a continuous basis at magnitudes that he hadn't felt for a long time. And there'd be times where he'd come in my office and he'd be crying because he'd be feeling something that he'd used to suppress by other means, be it whatever it was, some kind of alcohol or what other kind of thing to help him cope. Jesus says no thank you to that wine, because in that moment he has to be 100% sober. He doesn't want to minimize anything of that moment. And just so for us, no matter what it is, and I love what Gary Jansen's saying is it's okay to take the odd, if you have some Irish cream and you just want to take a little Irish cream at dinner or some wine and just relax. But when it becomes in excess, anything done in excess can be toxic, and it can start to null and kind of dumb down our senses to the actual stuff that we have to deal with, be it pain, be it depression, be it another form of hurt or woundedness from the past. So whatever that is for you, maybe we walk into the season of Easter that saying that he is risen and set us free to a new level of sobriety, that we would choose to be able to walk through all the stuff that we have to deal with a clear head and a clean heart. Reminds me of the Davidic Psalm in Psalm 52, when after David had committed sin against Bathsheba, he cleanses his heart. He says, create in me a new heart, O God, and cleanse me from all unrighteousness, like that you take not thy Holy Spirit from me. This creating, this refiner's fire that he's wanting. Because there's something in there that was like dross. It was impurities that needed to be burned away. And maybe that's what we do as we begin this new year post-Easter. As a risen Lord, as we talk about Pentecost soon, that the work of the Holy Spirit would continue to refine this fire. Your character. Character is key. You could talk a good game, but are you living the life of a follower of Jesus? And embracing whatever pain and anxiety or hurts that you are, and saying, look, I'm not going to try to nullify it or dumb it down or drink it through or whatever coping mechanism that you have always done. Maybe you're supposed to sit it through and learn and grow. Well, God love you. God, pray that you're blessed tonight, that as you go to sleep, that you hear these words, that at the end of that statement, just as he refuses the drink, he then says, it is finished. So whatever issues that you're wrestling with, if it's anxiety, if it's you've got hurts, habits, and hang-ups that you have just been constantly giving to the Lord, that God hears your prayers and that he gives you the strength, the courage, and the bravery to continue on tonight. And we'll see you in the morning. God bless you. We're praying for you. And I know full well that he loves you and he has a plan for your life. Okay, good night.